Hey there, welcome back to Cop Noise TV. Quick question before we get into the video. Have you subscribed to my channel? If not, don't worry about it, but do me a favour, get over to the homepage, hit the subscribe button. I really appreciate it, it really helps me out, it helps me build the channel and it saves you guys missing out on any future content. Right, let's get into the video. Liverpool away, Nottingham Forest, big match build-up, and on paper, you'd like to think that this should be a routine win for Liverpool. But listen, we all know football is not played on paper, and if Liverpool's form is anything to go by this season, who knows what the hell is going to happen. But before we look at Liverpool, let's get into Nottingham Forest. So Forest are currently sat 17th in the Premier League, just above the relegation zone, staring precariously down the barrel of the drop zone, 3 points separating them from West Ham. Now, speaking of West Ham, personally, I think their uplifting form, their recent results have forced, not say forced, have made Marinakis, the Forest owner, make the decision to basically get rid of Sean Dyche, because this was strange to me, given the fact that Sean Dyche is was manager of the month in January in the Premier League, and also as well, when I think of managers who I would want to get me out of a relegation dogfight, there's two names that spring to mind, and I'll pause for a second to see if you agree with me. Right, the two names that I think of straight away in terms of managers wanting to get you out of the drop zone, one is Sean Dyche, which Forest had, and the other one is Sam Allardyce. So for me, it was a little bit of a weird appointment getting Vitor Pereira in. Yes, we know that he kept Wolves up last season, but he also got sacked from Wolves this season. So a little bit of a strange one. But anyway, and when looking at Liverpool playing Forest in the past, they've caused a fair few issues for Liverpool. Now, Arne is obviously in his second year at Liverpool now. He's yet to beat Nottingham Forest, which is I wouldn't say it's a damning stat, but we all know Arne Slot's press conference where literally week in, week out, he would refer to that Forest defeat last season. It lived rent-free inside his head. So yeah, he's had 2 defeats to Forest at Anfield, and he drew last season away from home. And going even further back than this, even looking into the Jurgen Klopp tenure, we kind of struggled a little bit there. We managed to scrape a 1-0 win in 2004 when, if you remember, Darwin Núñez, I think, got like a 94th minute winner where Alexis McAllister kind of chipped a little ball to the backstick and Núñez flicked it on. Was wearing that horrible purple kit. Then in 2002, we played them a couple of times at the City Ground as well. We lost 1-0 in the league and we beat them in an FA Cup tie where I think Diogo Jota got on the score sheet. So history tells us that this isn't really a happy hunting ground for Liverpool. And as well, it's important that we recognise that the City Ground is one of those grounds where the fans will be up for it. We know full well that their version of Zombie will be getting wrung out continuously throughout the game, especially if they smell blood. If there is any sign of Liverpool showing weakness this weekend, that song will literally ring out throughout the terraces for the whole of the game. And now looking at Forest form, they've had good results away from home in Europe. On Thursday night just gone, but looking at the Premier League since the turn of the year, a little bit of a mixed bag. They've won 2, lost 2 and drawn 3, and for me, a team that's kind of just hovering above the relegation zone, you'd probably say that isn't actually bad form. So why would you sack a manager that's kind of tried and tested in terms of getting teams out or away or escaping the relegation zone? And as I say, especially when he won Manager of the Month in January, seemed a little bit odd to me. But I think it's their recent results which have got the manager the chop, if you like. It's the recent results from teams around them, because in February alone, Forest drew to Crystal Palace. They lost at Leeds, which, if I remember rightly, they were atrocious that day. And then last time out in the Premier League, they drew at home to Wolves. So I think this string of results, the fact that all those teams was in and around them, there was all kind of like the 6 pointers, if you like, and Forest haven't managed to get a win in any of them. I think that is why Marinakis has basically made the change in the dugout. Now, in terms of players to look out for in the Forest ranks, they've not got a bad side, and I dare say that their position in the league doesn't reflect the kind of calibre of players they've got, if that makes sense. So looking at defence, they've got Milinkovic and Murillo, which on their day are a solid pairing. They've got Elliot Anderson spearheading kind of the pivot in midfield, who I'm a big fan of Elliot Anderson. I think he's a great player. Morgan Gibbs-White and Hudson-Odoi in attacking areas. And then up top, they've got Igor Jesus, the Brazilian, who's, when I look at his scoring record, it was so bizarre because he's scored 2 Premier League goals, but he's got 7 from 7 in the Europa League. So, make that make sense. It's either the fact that the Premier League has got better teams in it than the Europa League, if that makes sense, or he just prefers playing in Europe. Either way, bit of a weird kind of stat when you look at that. And I also think it's important to point out as well that when you're looking at Nottingham Forest, all these players you would say are in their best 11, and all these players that I've just named played either 65 minutes or more on the Thursday just gone in the Europa League. So as far as Liverpool are hoping for, you'd like to think that Forest might have a little bit of a European hangover coming into this game, given the fact that they played away at Fenerbahce. They'll have probably got home late Thursday night, maybe Friday morning. Friday will be like a rest and recover day. Saturday training, then into the game on Sunday. So who knows? The players might be showing a little bit of fatigue there. We shall see. Right, let's have a look at Liverpool. So come the game on Sunday, Liverpool will have had 8 days of rest since their last game, which is a lovely break for a team that's competing in one of the domestic cups and also in Europe. It's not often you get that much of a gap around this time of year. So I imagine that all the players, all the coaching staff will have had a lovely little break. And you'd like to think that coming off the back of good wins away at Sunderland in the Premier League, and also arguably Liverpool's best performance of the season at home to Brighton in the FA Cup, that confidence should be high around the training ground, despite this absolutely shit weather which we are experiencing at the moment. And then when looking at options in terms of team selection for the manager, well, as I just said, really, the players have had a lovely break, a lovely time off. We've got no reason why we should be resting any of the playing squad, not whatsoever. All the players should be coming back fit and ready to go for this game on Sunday, and I expect Liverpool to be coming straight out of the blocks from this one, getting at Forest and making it difficult, because the longer this game goes on for Liverpool, I dare say Forest will sit back. I can't see Forest coming and playing a high-pressing game. And we all know that Liverpool struggle when the tempo's slow, when teams sit back against them. So Liverpool, for me, have to set the tempo for this game. Liverpool have to come out of the blocks. They have to start fast. They have to be the ones to set the press. Press high, get at Forest, and don't leave this game to chance. Don't be leaving it to scrape a 1-0 in the last 10-15 minutes. Start the game fast, Liverpool. I think this is an absolute must. We all know that Jeremy Frimpong still won't be ready for this game. We do have Joe Gomez back. He will have had a full week of training this week, so I expect Joe to come and slot straight in to the starting lineup. Apart from that, there's no fresh injury concerns that we know of for the Reds. We do know from the manager's press conference that Alexander Isak is back on the grass. Yes, albeit he is quite aware off being anywhere near fit and ready for selection. I think the manager said probably towards the back end of March, beginning of April, but still don't be expecting the Alexander Isak that we all know to be coming into the team straight away. Liverpool will not rush Alexander Isak back at all, but having him back in around the AXA, on the grass, integrating with the rest of the squad can only bode well for the back end of the season. Hopefully we will still be in 3 competitions by then. Right, with that being said, let's have a look what I think Arne Slot will do in terms of a starting 11 prediction. And this one is going to be my easiest one I've done this year by far. So, let's get into it. Alisson Becker in goal, the best goalkeeper in the world. As I just said, Joe Gomez, I think, will slot straight in at right back. Centre halves, Ibu Konate and Virgil van Dijk. And at left back, Milos Kerkez. I think we all are confident, are happy now that Kerkez is the number 1 choice at left back. And yeah, he's playing great, so why would we look to change that? In the middle of the park, it's going to be Ryan Gravenberch and Alexis McAllister that kind of act as that double pivot, if you like. And then in front of them, the guy that I absolutely fucking love more than anyone in the world right now, it is Florian Wirtz. I have not got enough good things to say about this guy. Let's just leave it at that. And then in the forward line, it's going to be Cody Gakpo, Mohamed Salah and Hugo Ekitike. That is my starting 11 prediction. Let me know in the comments below, guys, if you think any different to me. And in terms of a score prediction, I think Liverpool will show up on Sunday, and I think we're gonna coast to a 3-0 victory. I think a rejuvenated Mohamed Salah gets on the score sheet after his stellar performance against Brighton in the Cup. I think Hugo Ekitike gets back on the score sheet, and I also think Florian Wirtz will pop up with one as well, because it's been a couple of weeks since he scored. So for me, he's due a goal. So I'm going 3-0 to the Mighty Reds. Let me know in the comments, guys, what you think. Thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to smash a like and subscribe. I'll catch you in a bit.